So Cardi B had a drink thrown on her and she bought back with the microphone hit. And, you know, after a little deliberation and after a little bit of research, it turns out that throughout the concert, she was asking for people to, you know, splash her with water because it was hot as hell outside. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. But it did inspire me to tell you guys this story time about the time that I had a drink thrown in my face, okay? You know, it just teaches you to have quick reflexes, bitch, because you never know. I have had drinks thrown on me probably about a good 4 or 5 times in my life. One time, however, a girl spat her drink on me. It was... okay. Girl, this time that I'm about to tell you about really was hella embarrassing, and it was somebody's wife. Okay, let's get into it. I don't remember exactly which year this was, but I was definitely hustling as per usual. I had my normal day job and I decided to get a little part-time thing going on, okay? Now, on top of my temporary jobs and like, you know, working at the strip club at nights, you know, I like to make some extra money here and there. So I would apply to these model jobs where, you know, the girls that'll stand in like Walmarts or Targets and like give out samples of like things. Like I was an Axe girl. I've talked about this before. I worked at the Colorado Convention Center for a tech convention as like, you know, just one of the little models. You know, you're nice to people and you give out samples and shit. Okay, it was a good gig. You know, it was just a little extra coin, right? So I stayed on the little roster, and sometimes, you know, the girls from that modeling company would call me if they had any jobs around my area, because you could like filter it out based off of like where you're willing to drive and go, right? I had gone like a good minute without going because, girl, I did that one the Axe model thing at Walmart. Beach, it was not for me. I'm so sorry. I was running into every single person that I had gone to high school with, and like I was having to spray like these little dusty musty little 10-year-old boys with Axe spray, and like these old creepy men, they were like, hey, what is your favorite scent? Bye, bitch, you know you don't wear no X. I was like, it was a struggle, and I took some time off because I was like, that was crazy. So I started passing up on jobs until one day came around, and she got a hold of me, and she was like, hey, I have this assignment, and it is an attorney's It's like an attorney cocktail event for law students, and they're having like this cocktail event. They're gonna have like a raffle. They're gonna have like games and stuff. And it's gonna be at this bar, and they need, you know, girls to work, and they're gonna have like some booths there. Would you like to work it? That sounds up my alley. And I was actually working for attorneys at that time. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is wonderful, right? So I think the event was gonna be starting at like 7 or something. So right after I got off work, I changed. They wanted me in all black, and I go to this bar, and it almost looks like a speakeasy, and it's really cool and quaint, but it has like 2 different levels, and it was just like very dark. I just remember it being very dim and dark, very, think attorney-esque. Okay, I don't know what it is about that aesthetic, but they're very obsessed with it. So I meet the lady who owns the place, and she's like this older, very sweet lady, and I walked in, and she was like, oh, you know, like we're not starting until later, and I was like, oh my god, not you thinking I'm an attorney? And I was kidding. I was like, no, you know, I'm here with so-and-so, this company, and I'm here to be, you know, like a helping hand around here. And I told her, you know, my assignment. She was like, oh my god, this was a third party. Like the attorneys themselves, somebody in the attorney world had rented out this place, so she didn't even know what was going on. And she was like, sweetheart, I wish I could tell you, but until then, would you like a drink? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I have a drink at the bar by myself, and I'm talking to this lady, and she has such an interesting story. And slowly but surely, there are other people trickling in. There's 2 other girls that are dressed exactly like me, and I can spot my own. So we start talking. They're here for the same event, and we were also supposed to help like set up, right? So we're waiting for the main girl to show up. She apparently has like, I don't know, like some decorations or some shit. We wait. This girl is late. Law students start showing up, like the people who are actually like this party is for start showing up, and we don't know what we're doing. We're just standing there, and like, you know, majority of them, now I ain't even gonna lie, majority, if not, I mean, I would say maybe I saw maybe a handful of women. The rest of them were men, and just nothing but men were coming in. And you got 3 of us looking like triplets, just standing at the front door, and people were, and they're just like, oh, hey. And we're like, hey, like, we don't know what we're doing. So we just stayed together and like trying to wait it out. Finally, this girl shows up. She's got like all this like stuff under her arms and like this box. And she's like, can you guys help? And I was like, bitch, don't talk to me. Hold up now. There I am in my fucking heels, traveling down cobblestone and shit, trying to get to her car, going back and forth, like we're moving somebody out of a house. And she's got like tablecloths. She's got like these pamphlets. She's got like all kinds of stuff that she's for this event. And like she had like coasters and napkins and stuff like with marketing stuff on it. And I was like, and I'm looking at her like, bitch, this is what I do for a living. This is so unprofessional and very untimely of you. So like legit, I started taking over the entire thing. Cause like she didn't know where she wanted anything. So I was like, all right, we're just gonna use common sense here. Okay, you obviously want like an entry table with whatever it is that you're trying to give all these people. So we're gonna do that and I'll decorate the table. So I stopped making trips to the car and I start setting everything up. So by her last trip, pretty much everything is set up. It's looking nice. So she comes in, she kind of has an attitude. So she kind of like calms down after that because it's starting to, look okay. And she gives us the lowdown. Okay. And essentially this is like a program that they give to law students if interested. I forgot what the program was about, but basically we're supposed to let them know that this program exists, give them information about it if they want to. We had some little merch, some little shirts, wristbands and stuff like that if they were interested. And that's it. And our only other job was to mingle and, be cute and, answer whatever little questions. And if we had like a more complex question, go to her. Very simple and, really quick, easy money to make. Just to let y'all know, jobs like that do exist. So if you're interested, definitely look in your city. Okay. Anyways, girl, we're all behind this table and we're just talking to whoever comes up. Right. And as the night goes on and gets later and later, it went from just like a normal amount of people to extremely packed. So many people were packed into this little bitty bar. Not only because this place was rented out, nobody was having to open up a tab. It was open bar, bitch. Okay, and these students could drink. If you are a law student or if you know somebody who is, tell me not. Because I did not know. Because I already had my attorneys that I worked with and they drank. I already told y'all about that. But these students, I don't even know how they got through school, bitch. Because I was like, oh my God, like they were putting this stuff back like nothing, okay? So 1 minute to the next, girl. We go from having pleasantry conversation, to having these hella drunk men coming to the table and just being fucking, just thinking that they spitting game and they're just hella drunk and like, our job is to just stay nice and hey and just have like little chit chat. So that starts happening and like me and the girls are laughing because like we're just meeting all kinds of like just random dudes and they're hella drunk and like they're just asking off the wall questions. They're not even asking about like what we're talking about here. And every single one of us was in a relationship, by the way. Every single one of us. So we're all like looking at each other like, like, if only they knew or whatever. Start noticing that this guy, he's like, keep in mind, this place is really small. So I'm behind this table and then there's like a walkway and then the bar. Okay. So like you have a bunch of people that are like lining the bar and there's only a few feet of space in between us. Right. So in the midst of like people, coming up to the table, leaving the table, coming up or whatever, I noticed this man that is sitting at the bar and his back is up against the bar and he's facing our table, right? And he looks like maybe he's like in his, I don't know, early 30s. He was still pretty young. And black suit on and he just got, he's like babysitting this drink. And I start noticing that, bitch, he's staring over here, okay? And at first I thought he was staring at my homegirl. I just kind of keep my eye on him because, I'm out here alone, bitch. Like, I want to make sure that if any creepiness is going on, I need to spot it. Fast forward and I noticed him again and I look up and this boy is locking eyes with me, okay? Boom. And I was like, oh, okay. That's all he needed, bitch. That's all he needed. I start seeing him making his way over to the table and like people are like in between him and me and I can see him like trying to make eye contact and I'm like doing everything that I can to like avoid it and I'm like trying to like reset shit on the table. Sure enough, he comes up to the side of the table. So what do you got here? So here we go. I go into my spiel, very nonchalant, and I was like, oh yeah, this is, whatever for, law students, you're a law student, whatever. This man was not here to play. He was not here to play. He was very much about his business when it came to spitting game, okay? And he starts, boom, focusing on me, and he was like, you're a law student? And I was like, If only I could afford law school, bitch. Absolutely not. And so, I was like, no, but I thought about it. And I'm just trying to have like chit chat, okay? He was like, well, what's stopping you? And I'm not going to go into my whole life story. So I'm like, oh yeah, just like work and, just very simple stuff, right? The girl that is like the head of this that was late, she comes around the table. She comes to me. I can tell that this girl has been drinking. Me and the other girls that were there first, we had not been drinking at all. We stayed our asses behind this table. But this girl comes up and she looks at me and she goes, oh my God, you totally need a drink. Look at you. Look at her. She's so serious. You're so cute. What can I get you to drink, sweetheart? Yeah, I was late. Like, I really appreciate all the help and da-da-da. And like, she was being really nice. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, yeah. So I tell her my drink. I think I got like a cranberry vodka, very basic bitch. Okay. Vodka, Red Bull, something like that. I was young. Okay. I was stupid. He starts giving me shit for what I was drinking. He was like, that's what you like. And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, and he's drinking the regular whiskey that they just love so much. And I was like, I don't know why you guys like that. Like, that shit is so crazy. So I start telling him, about the attorneys that I work for and how that's like their favorite shit. That piques his interest like nothing else. You would have thought I was talking about his favorite sport with him. Like, his whole demeanor changed. Like, he got so excited and he was like, what kind of whiskey is it? And I was like, it's all types. And he was like, no. Like, what kind of whiskey is it? So I start giving him like the names and he was like, oh, they got good taste. And so we're having this convo. Okay. It was quite a bit of time because like the whole place is packed and she brings me my drink and, I start, taking a few sips of it and it's literally in a cup like this big. Okay. And it's majority ice. So, it's just a little sippy sip. He kind of covers there for a little bit and I hate when guys do that because I'm just like, we had a conversation and like you just gotta go, and he started hovering and then like other people were coming to the table and I was like talking to other people and I turn around and he like floated off somewhere. He just like disappeared and I was like, okay, good. So I start focusing, back on everybody else and having my own conversation. Fast forward, bitch. And all of a sudden, I hear a glass hit the table. My love. He just called me my love, bitch. He called me my love. Oh my God, is that another drink? Yeah, vodka cranberry, right? That's what you like. And I was like, thank you so much. You did not have to do that. So like I move it out of the way and I grab my old drink that's basically just ice. And I'm like, I'm just going to finish this because like, I don't trust this man. I don't know this man. Rule number fucking 1, girl, call this rule like 1 in your whole life. Never, and I mean never, don't be accepting random drinks from random men. Okay. Like if you turn your back on your drink even once, throw it away. Get another one. Like straight up, like, unless they're bringing you like a bottle of water that has like, even that, girl, I knew that from jump. So I'm like, I was not about to touch that fucking drink. I was like, I don't fucking know you. I do not know you. He takes his post right next to the table again. And I'm like, why? This is what I can't stand. Like, I'm just trying to be friendly. Why are you acting like you know me like that? I had a very awkward, like, not bad feeling. I just had like a feeling like this wasn't supposed to be happening. He was being kind of weird. So immediately I'm like, no to the drink. And it's sitting right on the table, right in front of me. And I keep turning, over to my other friends, the ones that I met there. And I keep turning to the other girls and like, just kind of trying to get them into a conversation so it's not so awkward. Meanwhile, he's just standing there. Okay. And he's not bothering nobody. Like he's just, there's so many people around. It doesn't seem that awkward, but I noticed it. And like the girls next to me, they did not notice it. They were just like, oh, it's just like really crowded. And I'm like, no, bitch, like he is not fucking leaving. This man has been standing there and he hasn't just been standing there awkward. Don't get me wrong. Like he had friends coming up to him and like introducing me to his friends and his colleague or whatever. And I am just like meeting this random man's fucking friends. And I'm like, okay. And they're all literally looking at me like, hi, who are you? And I'm like, bitch, nobody to you or to him. Like, I don't know. The confusion on everybody's face, like every single person. He was introducing me to like guy friends. He was introducing me to friends of his that were colleagues that were girls. Y'all, the girls that he was introducing me to, they were the ones giving me the off vibe. They were looking at me like, hi. And I was like, hi. And they were like, do you know him? Like, oh, so you know Mark? And I was like, oh, no. And I made it very clear. This is the first time I'm meeting him. Okay. I have no idea who he is. And like, I just did not know why he felt it necessary to keep bringing me into the conversation. Like, why do you keep doing, like, it's awkward for everybody here. Okay. Well, like, nice to meet you. And I'm like, nice to meet you too, bitch. Like, I don't know. The night goes on. It's almost closing time. Like, they're about to do last call. We start very lightly packing up the table and everything, and the door is like opening, closing, opening, closing. There was like a lot of smokers, so like people would go out there, smoke, come back in. So there was like a lot of back and forth, and there's like a mixture of music and like a bunch of people talking, and you know, just a very loud environment. And I hear somebody say, Mark, and it just seemed like, and it was just like not even a thing, right? So I look up, and this lady is like beelining it to the man that's standing right here next to my table. She comes up, and at first, you guys, I'm like, oh my God, like this must be another one of his friends, because like they all be yelling like that. Really? You're still here? You said that you were gonna pop in and pop out. What happened to that? She's talking to him, and I'm talking about this bitch. Snap. Her neck snaps. She looks at me. She looks me up and down. She looks back at him. Are you fucking serious right now? Are you fucking serious right now? She's a child. Are you really? Bitch, I am not a child, okay? I pay my own fucking bills. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? She reaches over, grabs the cup that I never drank that was on that fucking table. The girl next to me got some of it as well, all over her. Thank God I'm wearing black. But my hair, my face, there's ice everywhere. And again, the glass is like this big. So it's not like a huge puddle, but it's a fucking mess, okay? It's all over the tablecloth, and I am just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God. And before I know it, he's like grabbing her, and like he's like escorting her out, and she's like, he's married, he's fucking married. Everybody in the bar, like people around us saw, like everybody was staring. I'm so fucking embarrassed. The girl next to me is really confused. Half of her dress is all fucking soaked as well, because like we were mashed up together. So she got a good amount of it too, and she's like, bitch, what the fuck? And so everybody is just like so confused. We have like 2 or 3 guys. They get towels from the bar, and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? And like people, thank God, they were like really helpful. The girl that I was with, she was like really nice about it. And she was like, are you okay? She was like, what the fuck was that? And so, you know, everybody is confused, and she was like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. And so, you know, I'm like really embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my God. I look at the girl next to me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, no, it's fine. She was like, that lady was fucking crazy. I come from around the table, and the girl that I was with, she was like, you could just go home, like, because it was cold outside. It was fucking snowing. And she was like, you're gonna be freezing, like, do you need a ride to your car? And I was like, no, it's fine, like, can I just go? And she was like, yeah. And so she let me go early. And the other girl that got splashed, she was like, I can stay, it's fine, because she was not nearly as soaked as I was. And she was like, oh my God, that bitch is crazy. So they walk me out to my car. And while we go out there, you would have thought me and these girls knew each other forever. And they were like, oh my God, like, what happened? Don't know what happened. Like, there was nothing inappropriate there. His wife definitely knew her man, and knew that her man would like do stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, I did not participate in it. And I was like, I obviously wouldn't trust that drink, so I just left it there. And they were like, girl, you should have handed it over to us. We should have poured it out. And I should have poured that drink out, because like he had been floating around like to the bathroom and stuff, and would come back, and I should have poured out that drink. And I thought about it, and I didn't do it, and I should have listened to myself. I had such a weird feeling in my gut, and bitch, I ended up with a whole fucking drink in my face. By the time we got out there, I don't know where they went. Like, nobody else talked to me about it, and I never heard or saw from either one of those people ever again. And yes, I did tell the agency, and like, what are they gonna do about it? And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I only did like maybe 1 or 2 jobs after that, and that was pretty much it, because you know what? So many girls will go after the girl first, and you know, it just all happened so fucking fast, and I really did not know what was going on. I didn't even realize that like we was beefing. I didn't even have enough time to react. I did not, like, this man was like he was like flash, bitch. He took her out so fast, and like from 1 second to the next, I had a whole drink in my face, and I did not know why. And I guess this lady thought that I was trying to hit on her husband, and that definitely was not the case. and didn't nobody want her man, and I was just there doing my job. I didn't even want that funky drink. Trust your gut, first of all. Second of all, watch your drink. Never let it out of your sight. And third of all, always keep an eye on everybody around you. You got to have them fast reflexes, because I don't know what it is. Girls love throwing drinks. They love it. It's like their favorite thing to do. I have seen so many drinks be thrown in my lifetime. It's crazy. I've had a lot of my friends have drinks thrown on them, like at parties with my family. There would be like drink throwing. I don't know what it is, but just be prepared, because that just seems to be the go-to, and you never know. You'll never know. But that was one of my experiences of having a drink thrown at me in my face at a job in front of everybody. And to the girl that threw it, if you ever see this, girl, you didn't have to do all that. Didn't nobody want your funky man. Didn't nobody want Mark, okay? But I hope it made you feel better. So that is my story. Let me know down below if you've ever had a drink thrown in your face, or if you've ever thrown a drink in someone's face. Give me the tea, because I can't be the only one sharing my stories, okay? I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for coming here and chilling with me. I do have a vlog coming up for you guys and some other really cool content. So I love you, but God loves you more, and I will see your fine self in my next video. Peace out, y'all.